Hi, welcome to Owl About Yarn podcast, episode 14. I'm Jennie, and you can find me on Ravelry as Jenster79 and pretty much every other form of social media as Owl About Yarn. I've even now joined Periscope. I don't quite know if I'll do anything with it other than maybe watch some other people's broadcasts. But I'd heard quite a few people mentioning it, so I thought, why not? I'll give it a go. So I've signed up and I've got an account, so you can find me there. If you've got any recommendations for people who do post videos, please let me know, because I'd love to expand my crafting community. You know what I mean. Now, before we get into this properly, I want to apologise for not having been here for, nearly a month. So not long after I talked to you last, the following week, I was going to do a podcast the following week, and I can't remember whether I was really busy or sick, but that following week just went, and then it was 2 weeks, and I thought, okay, I'll just wait 2 weeks, I'll do every 2 weeks, it'll be brilliant, that'll work well. And then I got sick. So I think the first week I was busy, the second week I was sick. I had a really horrible cold that really it dragged us down. Erin was poorly with it, her hearing went, my voice went. That's not a good combination when I'm shouting at the top of a failing voice and she's going, what, pardon? Oh, nightmare. So then I thought, 3 weeks, I'll do it after 3 weeks, but I still wasn't feeling 100%. The middle of last week, the end of last week just came and went. So here we are at nearly 4 weeks. I really apologise for having been missing in action for so long. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I've been around there. I've not been doing a lot on Ravelry because I've just been so tired. And I just thought I was starting to get better at the end of last week, and I thought, go on, come on, you can do this. And it feels now, since yesterday, like I'm coming down with another cold, which you can probably hear in my voice. So I've got a cup of tea. I've got a nearly finished packet of Hall Soothers, just in case my throat really starts going. And I'm going to plough on through and see how far I can get. I've also got soup bubbling on the stove downstairs for lunch. And I've managed to carve out an hour of peace and quiet. So let's see how we do now. Today I have some works in progress to tell you about. I have plenty of finished objects. I have sewing and exciting sewing news. Well, it's exciting for me, so yay. I have a teeny tiny little bit of stash, some shop news, and then loose ends. So let's start with the cup of tea. I'm also wearing my biggest, thickest cardigan, which I knitted when I was expecting Erin. Which, how long ago was that now? 3.5 years. On my project page, I have an enormous pregnant tummy sticking out from inside this cardigan because I finished it about 2 months before she was due. So this is the Velvet Morning. If I stand up and show you the bottom, because that's where all the action is happening. It's the Velvet Morning cardigan, which was a free pattern on Knitty, but you can find it linked through Ravelry. And I knit it in James C. Brett Aran with wool, but it's quite heavyweight. It's heavier than I would say an Aran is generally, so I did have to adjust the pattern somewhat, but the yarn the pattern called for was outside my price range. There was no way I was going to be able to manage that, so this was the more affordable alternative, and I think I bought it on deramores.com or Wool Warehouse. It was definitely an online shop because it was more or less these colours in the original pattern, and I really like the combination, so I tried my best to match it up. And since then I've used the rest, because they come in these massive 400 gram balls, and I've tried to use the rest up in various things. So I think Erin's had jumpers in this turquoise and in the lilac. My niece had a jumper in the lilac. the cream's been used for something, I can't remember what that was, but there's not an awful lot of it left anyway, so it was a good buy. It's made lots of garments for those 4 balls of yarn, so that was really good. But it's really cosy, so when you're not feeling very well and you just need to wrap up, it's lovely. And you know, I haven't worn it until this year, because as I say, I made it when I was expecting Erin, which was 2012, and I don't know, I hung it up in my wardrobe to keep it safe, and then the summer came and I forgot about it, and it just, time passed, so I don't know what happened there. Anyway, I'd recommend this pattern. It's a lovely warm cosy jumper and a nice long jacket to keep you warm through the winter. You're supposed to knit a belt with it, but I'm much wider at the hips. I'm not quite an hourglass figure, so I just let it hang loose because it wouldn't look good if I tried to belt it up. So, works in progress. I have cast on my Hitafude cardigan, which I am knitting from my own oh, excuse me. I'm knitting it from my own hand spun yarn, which I spun from Sarah's Texture Crafts fibre, and if you remember, this is a little while ago, I had the boysenberry colour in merino and merino silk blend, so I spun them up and plied them together, so it's a 2-ply with those 2 blends but the same colourway, and it's a really lovely blend. So I am knitting them on 3.5mm needles, which I believe is a little bit smaller than the pattern calls for. I've even got the pattern here because I'm accidentally reasonably organised today. It's the Hitafude cardigan is by Hiroko Fukatsu. It's a paid for pattern, I believe, and this is how it will look when it's done. Only bigger, because I am not as petite as that lady there. But several people, including Minerva Turkey, I think it was Minerva Turkey, or was it Rebecca Evil Twin 2, who does the Owl Knit With You podcast, Minerva Turkey. Shannon, she does the Minerva Turkey podcast. One of them, I remember saying that they'd seen it on all sorts of shapes and sizes of people and it looked good on all of them. So that was my recommendation. Oh, and I do just have to show you my emergency chocolate that I keep in my project bag, just in case of times of stress. So that was enough of a recommendation for me, and I decided that I would do that with this hand spun because I had enough for that. The progress marker is just there so I remember to put it on while I'm talking to you, but that's how far I've got. And I think you can make out the lace pattern there if I hold it against the white of the wall behind me. So I am, let me see, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 repeats of the lace. I'm nearly halfway to having done the sleeves, because I think it's kind of top down and you knit it all in one piece, then you seam the sleeves and then you carry on. I don't know, I should really probably have read the pattern further ahead, and I haven't quite got to that yet. So I'm hoping to whack a couple more lace repeats on this afternoon, and I've put my progress keeper on there now, so I'll be able to show you next week. Next week! I will be back next week, possibly the week after. Not more than 2 weeks. I'll be able to show you where I've got to. So that's my first work in progress. And pop that down there. My second work in progress, which has been getting some attention, is my sock yarn blanket. I have a target to reach by mid-November, and I think I'm about a third of the way to the target, so I need to get cracking on this. But this is nice for, like, the Hitafude needs a little bit of concentration. It's not too bad, I am getting into it, and I've remembered the pattern because it's easy to memorise, but you do still have to concentrate on it to make sure that you're counting the right number of stitches for the repeats and everything. Whereas my sock yarn blanket is just, yeah, I can do that practically in my sleep, which I think I have been doing because I don't remember some of these squares. at all. But my progress marker, if you remember when I last talked to you, I was using a really elegant plastic progress marker. I have swapped it out. Maria, hi Maria, sent me some lovely charms, and I made myself this progress keeper with a strawberry and a red bead. So this is my sock yarn blanket progress keeper now until this is done. And I had got to there, so I've done all of the rest of this row, all of this row, and I just did this one this morning. So it has grown a little bit. The aim I'm hoping to get to is, I think, 11 rows done by the middle of November. That's kind of the target I've set myself. So I shall see. When I've had enough of the Hitafoo Day later, I might set a target with that, and then when I've had enough of it, I'll do a bit more of this. But the selection of sock yarn is definitely going down. If you can see all the way down there in my bag, it's a lot lower than it was before. So I definitely have added some of the yarns to it. They are the only works in progress I've got at the moment. Do you know, I've had no time for spinning at all. Excuse me. I sit and look longingly at my spinning wheel in the corner of my living room every day. But I haven't touched it since the last time I talked to you. I've been busy. I don't know what I've been doing. I mean, I've been ill, so that takes up time, doesn't it? And it means everything else goes more slowly. But yeah, I haven't got to my spinning at all. I've got all this lovely fibre around me, and I need to find some time. So I'm hoping that by the next time I talk to you, I will have at least started spinning something, because I've got some spinning that I want to do as a gift sooner rather than later. And I'm looking at that sparkly autumn gradient that I showed you last episode. That's hanging over a pole in my office just over there, and I really want to get to that soon as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can crack on with this Hitafoo Day, get to the target that I want to get to. Because I'm setting myself targets so I actually get through them. And then when I've hit that target, I can let myself do some spinning. So, yeah. Finished objects. I do have a few finished objects. One of them, at least, I can't show you because do you remember last time I was knitting a hat for my son in a lovely burnt orangey, browny, bronzy colour in that hand-spun fibre that I spun from the hand-spun yarn that I spun from the John Arbon fibre that I bought, Bracken. He loves it. He's been wearing it a lot, and it's somewhere in his room. I think he's out at the moment. They've gone out with their dad to give me some peace and quiet, so I can't show that to you, but I will put a picture. So there will have been a picture up here somewhere. I also made a hat for Erin. I told you about that yarn last time as well, the red and lilac handspun. And here it is, and I'm really pleased with that. So it's a mock cable, what's it called? The Malibu mock cable. Did I write that down? Malibu bulky mock cable hat by Kate Wise. Now, she uses really, really bulky yarn, but I liked the look of the pattern, so I did have to modify it. I cast on 72 stitches because my yarn was thinner than hers, and I used 4mm needles, and then added a massive pom-pom to the top, which looks really cute. If you are on Instagram or Ravelry, you might have seen pictures of her wearing it. There'll be pictures up there again. I have lots of pictures today, I think, to show you, just so long as my addled, cold-filled brain remembers to put them all in. More drink. Oh, I'm so glad I made that cup of tea before I started. I'd only just finished one cup of tea and I thought, oh, I won't need another one. And then I thought, well, actually, maybe I better had. Otherwise, I'll just croak even more than I was going to at you. My third finished object is Erin's jumper. I just got past the owl cables, I believe, around her tummy. last time, and it was a quick knit. I was right, it knitted up lovely and fast, and because it's this hand spun merino from John Arbon, it had a lovely handle to it, so it was a real pleasure to spin up. I think I've got pictures of her wearing it. If not, I'll try and get pictures before I put the podcast up. It's just got little bits of fluff on it, hang on. And here it is. So I'm pleased with that. The only there's the owls, as you can see with their, I can't see where I'm showing you. Can you see that there? The owls with their eyes. I did 3 different coloured buttons in the end. The only thing I forgot, I was a bit woolly brained when I was doing the yoke and the decreases, and I decided, oh, do you know what, I'll go and look at the owls pattern, Kate Davis's owls pattern, because that's knit bottom up, attach the sleeves, knit the yoke, etc. And I'll do the same as it does in that pattern to do the yoke, except no owls. And I forgot that, of course, cables will draw in the fabric, and that's why it's not baggy. So mine is a little baggy around the yoke, but it's warm and it's cosy, and Erin likes it, and it will keep her warm in the winter. So job done. I'm not that fussy. I'll be glad with that. Final finished object for knitting today is my J Walker sock. I've actually got a pair. Where's the bag? Oh yes, so I was keeping them in this Japanese knot project bag, which I got given from a lovely person on Ravelry some time ago. I'd already showed you this one a few months ago, and now I have a pair. Hooray! Yay! So they're fraternal twins, as you can see. One's got a green toe, one's got a blue toe, but I really don't mind. I like them anyway, and they're not going to be itchy. It's going to be lovely. So the yarn was a gift from Sarah on Ravelry as part of the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup group that I participate in, and she said, so it's an American yarn. It's called Knit One Crochet 2, as in TOO, not 2 the number, and it's really, really nice. It feels very smooth. The pattern, it is snug, but I like snug socks because I don't like them falling down my legs, so I think I'm going to enjoy them, and obviously they're going to loosen up as I wear them a bit, so I think that's a good thing. But I do enjoy them, and I can see myself maybe knitting another pair one day. We'll see, but they're a good fit, so I'm pleased with them, and I'm pleased they're off the needles. So these I'm going to enter as part of Sarah's sock along in her group, Sarah's Texture Crafts group on Ravelry. She's having a sock knit along from now until, from last month until December, and so this little finished pair will be there, and I'll probably be knitting up a couple of mini socks as well for display on the stall next year. More about that later on. So that's all my knitting finished objects. Sewing. So I have sewing news. I completely jinxed my poor Susie Singer sewing machine when I was telling you how wonderful she was last time. About a week later she died. She died a death, so we are officially in mourning. I don't quite know what's wrong with her. She's under the table. I haven't got rid of her or anything. I'm hoping to find somebody who can fix her for me so she can be a backup machine. But I was sewing and she made a big grinding noise and then stopped, and I couldn't crank the handle or anything, and I took it apart and I put it back together again, and I can see what's gone wrong, but I don't know how to fix it, so that's why I need somebody who knows how to fix things to look at her for me. And so I saw an offer on Hobbycraft. For any of you who aren't in this country, Hobbycraft is a big craft supermarket that sells all sorts of things. And on their website, if you signed up for their newsletter, they'd send you a coupon for 20% off your first order, I believe. And they had a sewing machine which was very highly recommended across the internet, on Amazon and various other places that you could buy it, for what was it? I think it was £70 or £80 down from, no, £70 down from 90. And I thought, well, with 20% off, that's even better. So I signed up for the newsletter, got my discount, and then I treated myself. I also treated myself to a nice rotary cutter for fabric and a cutting mat, a big A2 cutting mat. And that is so much nicer than using a pair of scissors. I can't recommend that enough. It's so, nice metal ruler, and you get nice straight edges, whereas my scissors were just going all over the place. It was ridiculous. So I have lots of sewing finished objects to show you. The first one, again, I can't show you. I made a dress for Erin to test the machine out, and because I've had this blue corduroy fabric for ages, and I'd been promising her this dress for a long time, like more than a year. Luckily the pattern still went up to her size and I had enough fabric, so I made that for her. She absolutely loves it. She's worn it every day but for 2 since I finished it for her. So, and she's gone out visiting our great uncle wearing it so she can show it to him, and it's got a little ruffle around the bottom. Well, I've got lots of pictures of that, so I'll put some of those up as well so you'll see that. I was really pleased actually, because it's been years since I've made a garment. I can't even think. The last time I would have made a garment was probably my oldest son Jack used to do tap dancing, and he had to have costumes for their annual show, so I would have made him something probably. But since then I can't think of anything that I've made for myself. So that's a lot of years, that's nearly 10 years ago. And I've done some bags and little things like that, but I haven't done any garments, so I was quite pleased with that. And on the strength of that, went straight back out, bought more fabric and 2 more patterns, so hopefully she'll have a couple more dresses. She loves flouncy dresses that go up when she spins, and she's very much a fan of Strictly Come Dancing at the moment, so she's dancing everywhere, and yeah, so the skirts have to be full, otherwise she's not interested. And she's really not interested in trousers at all at the moment. You have to really convince her to wear them if it's a freezing cold day. So that's my first finished item, and the rest are all reasonably similar. I've been doing a selection of bags and large notions purses, which because I'm hoping, I think I said last time, I'm hoping to put some on a stall if I do festivals next year. So this first one I'm going to show you is a little box bag, and this one is for me. So, so you've got to test things out on yourself, haven't you? So it's I had a couple of fat quarters. Well, I had a packet of fat quarters in this autumny material, all complimentary, and so I put this as the lining. If you can see, there's little acorns in there, and then oak leaves on the outside. So this is going to be my new notions purse, which is big enough to keep lots and lots of things in, including the ruler with the needle gauge that I've got, and my tape measure, and all sorts of bits and pieces. So that'll be cool. Then I did one in reverse, so exactly the same pattern. I did them at the same time, except I did this one in reverse. It's got the acorns on the outside and the oak leaves on the inside, and again it's fully lined. It's got the tabs to help you close it, and this is going to be sent as a gift today to well, I'm not going to say who, because she might be watching and it would spoil a surprise, but it's going to be sent as a gift, so I hope she likes it. And that's not giving too much away to say she, is it really? I've also done, so with the box bags, I've done another one. These are all more or less gifts, I think, at the moment, because there's lots of people that I can gift these to, and I can see what their reactions are before I inflict them on the paying public. But I've done a wider one, so it's shallow, but wide. So that would be plenty big enough, I reckon, for putting a sock project or a shawl project in. And then, as well as that, I've done a couple of different styles. Oh no, I've got one more box bag to show you, so that's gorgeous. I love this fabric. I got it on the internet, which is always a bit of a risk, isn't it, because you don't see it in person, but I really like it. And then that's got another autumnal lining, and this is going to be a present for somebody else who I think watches the podcast, so I'm not going to tell you who that is either. Keeping so many secrets today, my goodness. Yes, and then I've got a selection of drawstring bags in various fabrics, all fully lined. That's a gift. They will probably be giveaways, and this I will be telling you about on my next podcast. So yeah, 4 drawstring bags. So I'm having so much fun with my sewing, and I'm going to be trying out a few different patterns and a few different fabrics. I've got more fabric on order. It's all going to be fabulous. Now I'm going to pause it for a minute because my family have just come home, so they're going to want their lunch, and I'll carry on talking to you later on. We're back, and this time you have 2 for the price of 1. You've got me and, what's your name? Erin. Erin is on half-term holiday, and so she wanted to join in and come and say hello to you on the podcast today. And I thought, well, why not? So we wanted to do a quick chat about sewing that we're planning to do, and I think Erin's going to be helping me with that sewing because it's going to be something for her. So we went to the fabric shop last week, and we chose a pattern for a dress that we're going to make for Erin. So do you want to show them the pattern? Go on then, you hold it up. That's it. Hold it up high so they can see. Good girl. Now, which one are we doing? Are we going to do the green one or the red one? Which one of these 2 are we doing? The green one or the red one? The red one. So can you show them again? It's going to be the one with sleeves that we're doing, so that it's good for the winter. Yeah, thank you. So I'll hold that for you. And then Erin chose some fabric. I hold it a bit closer for you. Erin chose some fabric to make it from. Would you like to show the fabric? Auntie Ellie will be very impressed with this, because what's all over it? Elephants. And she does like an elephant. Are they your favourite animal? Yeah, you're going to show it. Oh, good girl. So this is going to make a really fun dress, and we're thinking that if this one works out well, we might do one in Christmas fabric, mightn't we? Oh, you're showing it again. Well done. That's very good. Very good showing. So that's our job for this next week or so. Make you another dress. Because, what are you wearing? What have you got on? Dress. A dress. And what's special about it? Where did you get it? Where did it come from?
You.
Me. Do you want to show up? Stand up and show it? Yeah? If I take these from you, and I shall put them very carefully on the floor. No, not on the floor. You're going to have to stand up here. Whoa. Stand up. Stand. There you go. And show your dress. So this is the dress I was talking about earlier. In the blue corduroy with a frill on the bottom and little straps as well. So it has t-shirts underneath it. But it's good and long. It goes down past her knees at the moment. And so it will last you at least a year, because next year you'll be able to wear leggings or trousers underneath it, won't you? So that's really good. So that is the Erin sewing that I wanted to talk about. Do you want to stay, or do you want to go and do more piano practice? You want to stay with me? Okay. Well, the next bit I wanted to talk about was stash. I've only got one little bit of stash enhancement today, and that was a gift. So the J Walker socks, she's going to show you. The J Walker socks, I told you the yarn was a present from a lady called Sarah in America. Well, she sent me some more for taking part in a sock study haul. And we have 2 skeins of Red Heart, Heart and Soul. So can you show it now? One and then the other. Okay. Well, what if you do one and I do one, because I can put it right by the camera. So they can I have it? You hold that one up and I'll show you them the label. Look. Red Heart, Heart and Soul with aloe. So it's going to be nice on my feet. And it's got all lovely colours in it as well. So I think I'm going to have to knit myself a pair of socks with this. Does it pass the sniff test? Are you smelling it? Does it smell nice?
It smells like cheese.
Smells like cheese? Maybe you smell like cheese because you just had cheese for your lunch, didn't you? You did. Did you not have any cheese with your lunch? You just had soup and crackers, did you? Oh, okay then. I thought you would have had cheese. You always have cheese. You like cheese, don't you? Anyway, we're getting off topic. That's what happens when you have a co-host. That's the only stash that I've got. I do have an awful lot of new fabric, but if I went through all that, we'd be here for at least another hour. So we'll...
Mummy, have you got anything else to show?
I haven't got anything else to show right now, no. No. Because I've already showed your hat. You want to show them your sparkly wand? Well, why don't you go and get that, and I'll carry on talking while you go. Is it downstairs?
No.
It's in your room, is it? Okay. Shop news, there's been a big fibre update last night. Okay, you go find it, I'll wait here. There's been a big fibre update, so I've got 11 new colourways in a variety of blends. I've got some lovely Polworth, some gorgeously soft merino, and a lovely new blend to me, which is a Polworth and merino dahl. And that's the merino dahl is kind of a medium light brown, so it gives it a very marl effect through it, and that's made some really interesting effects in the colours. So go and check that out, and I'm going to put a little slideshow with pictures of all the new fibres in the shop right here. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that slideshow of fibre goodness. I'm really happy with some of the colours that I've come up with, and one or two have snuck into my stash, just accidentally. Oh, there's a boy going past. Which one's it going to be? It's a Jack creeping past, trying to be quiet. I did record a segment with Erin to put after the slideshow. It went a little off on a tangent. She got into the swing of podcasting, let's put it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at the end of the podcast, so that if you're not really interested in watching a 3-year-old talk, which I can understand, you can skip that. But I'm going to dive straight into loose ends now, because there really isn't much at the shop news. I have a tin full of stitch markers to put in, but I don't know, I just keep finding other things to do. But there is a tin, they're not going to go off, they'll turn up eventually, and I'll let you know. But anyway, so loose ends, and moving on to that. I am trying to do a bit more exercise, so I start a new fitness group thing tomorrow morning, and it's a 4-month sort of kickstart into fitness that the nurse at the surgery recommended for me when I went for my annual medication review in the summer. So yeah, I'm starting that tomorrow, and that gets me a bit of a discount off exercise classes in the local leisure centres and things like that. So it should tide me over through the worst months of the year if I can just get in and do a couple of them a week at least. The other thing that I've been doing from an exercise point of view is we've had some skiing lessons. So last podcast I told you that we were going to be going to Norway later in the winter, and we decided that because we're only going to be there for a week, we didn't want to waste time by starting off completely from scratch when we get there and learning, you know, this is a ski, this is a ski boot. And we're lucky enough in Cardiff to have a dry ski slope just 20 minutes up the road. So we went and booked in for some lessons. So the boys have been going to the junior ski group lessons, and Rob and I have had some private lessons. So we booked a block of 5 and we've had 3 so far. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Oh, I love it. I always love the stuff that's expensive, so that's a bit of an issue. I don't like going running, which is free. I don't very much like going for long walks. I'll do it, but unless I've got something to listen to on my headphones, I'm really not that bothered. But I love skiing, and I'd go and have tennis lessons anytime anybody wanted to pay for some for me. It's just typical, isn't it? Anyway, skiing lessons are fab. I'm really, really enjoying them, and it's making me look forward to our holiday even more. I need to keep it up though once these 5 lessons finish, because there's a gap then before we go away. So I need to keep going and keep practicing what I'm taught, otherwise it's, you know, it'll just be a waste. But it is really good fun. Also, the other thing I need to remember, because if you're not familiar with a dry ski slope, it's like skiing on the sort of brushes that you sweep your yard with. And if you fall down when you're wearing quite thin jogging bottoms, it turns out the bristles go through your trousers, scrape all down your leg, and sometimes even leave a little bit of bristle in your leg. Ask me how I know. So I really do need to remember to wear jeans. Even though it doesn't seem like the most natural thing to wear to go and do some exercise, I need to remember to wear my jeans, because nothing's getting through my jeans. So, yeah, I'll know for this week. And the bruising is starting to subside, so that's something. Another bit of news is that I am getting my courage together at the moment to apply for 2 festivals next year. I'm hoping to... Well, I'm going to apply for a stall at Wonderwool Wales in April, but I hear that that's very oversubscribed, so I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much in case I don't get a stall there this year. And I'm going to apply to do Bristol Wool Fair next year as well, because that's quite local, so I don't need to book accommodation for that one. I really hope I get to do both of them, because I think it'd be a brilliant learning experience and it'd be a brilliant way to grow the business. It feels like the next step now that I need to just take and move on and grow it that way by actually getting the products out in front of people. I'm just very nervous about filling the forms in. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Because it's like filling in a job application form for a job that you really, really want. And yeah, I've got to put photos in of products and explain why they should pick me to have a stall there, which is a bit nervous. Oh, the door just went on. And I'm back again. It was some of Ben's friends at the door wanting him to go out with them down to the local park. It's tipping down with rain. They're all crazy as a box of frogs. It's staying in, watching a film and knitting weather, that's what it is. It's so dark, I've got 2 lights on in here and it still feels gloomy. Where did I get to? Yeah, so I've got to fill in these forms, attach pictures, explain why they should pick me to have a stall. And that's why I haven't done it yet, because I'm a bit nervous. I want to at least do myself proud, you know, I want to do the best I can. So I think tomorrow's a bit busy. We've got a lot of family coming. A bit like Piccadilly Junction here tomorrow. Piccadilly Junction? Piccadilly Square. Really tired. Thursday. There we go. Today's Tuesday. On Thursday I'm going to fill in those forms and I'm going to get them posted. The other thing I'm going to do on Thursday and post is my fibre share parcel. So I was full of it, wasn't I, nearly a month ago, and I was saying, oh yeah, I'm going to get it sent off early because it's a good thing to do and it's got to go across to America. And bless you, you sat there waiting. If you watched the podcast, you'll have been thinking, well, where is it, this parcel? She said she was going to send it really soon and she hasn't. No, I haven't. The deadline is Saturday. It will be posted before the deadline, but how far ahead of the deadline I'm really not sure. I think I've got all the bits and pieces together now. I think it's just a case of putting them all in a parcel and sticking it all together securely and getting it up to the post office. So that is something else that I can do on Thursday. And I'm not going to make any sort of crafting plans, because I keep on saying to you, oh yeah, I'm going to knit this cowl, I'm going to knit this hat, I'm going to spin this fibre, and then I don't do it. So what's the point? I'm going to work on my Hitafu Day. I will definitely be working on my Hitafu Day, and I will definitely have made it grow before I next see you. I am going to have added squares to my sock yarn blanket. And apart from that, I don't know what I'll be working on. I think a priority is going to be to do some spinning, because I really want to do some spinning. So perhaps after the kids are back in school next week, I can settle down in front of my wheel one afternoon when Erin's having a bit of a quiet time and spin up some fibre. I think that would be nice. And I do plan to sew a couple more bags, but whether that will be before I next talk to you or not, I don't know. We will play it by ear. In the meantime, I think that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. And as I'm a bit fuzzy-brained with this oncoming cold, the paracetamol I took at lunchtime while I was taking a break did seem to work. So at least I don't have a sore throat at the moment. So that's always a bonus, isn't it? But I think it's time for another cup of tea. And I think it's time to sit and do a little bit of knitting. So I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope that you all have a lovely time until I next see you and get lots of relaxing crafting time. Come and join us in the Ravelry group and have a chat. Don't forget to post your finished key shawlettes. The deadline is Saturday, the 31st of October, if you want to be entered into the prize draw. Oh, there was something else I wanted to say to you. So, I am going to be releasing a short podcast. I decided this morning while I was making soup. I'm not quite sure when. I'm hoping over the weekend, because I have 3 things to talk to you about, which I don't want to wait until the next podcast, because if it's another 3 weeks, this is just getting ridiculous. So I'm going to do a short one. My fibre share parcel sender, who is Undercover Otter on Instagram, has said, wouldn't it be fun if we could see our partners opening their parcels? And I said, well, I'll do it on the podcast if you want. So she said, yeah, that could be good if you wanted to. So I thought I could record my reactions as I open my parcel and show you all what I got. The other thing that I wanted to do was announce the winners for the Key Shawlette Cal giveaways, because there were 2 prizes, if you remember. There was a voucher for Sarah's shop at sarahstexturecrafts.com, and what did I can't even remember what I gave. Did I give? I don't remember. I'll put it down here. There you go, that's what I'm giving you. So I will draw the winner over the weekend and then announce it on the podcast, the special podcast. And the third thing is something I wanted to do last week, but the dreaded lurgy got in the way, maybe the week before. Owl About Yarn, as an Etsy shop, was a year old on the 12th or the 13th of October. And it's done pretty well. I'm pleased with how well it's done and how it's grown since I launched it a year ago. And so to say thank you to all you lovely people, I wanted to run a giveaway. I haven't finalised what I'm going to be giving away yet. There'll be a project bag, probably, no I can't reach it, probably the one with owls on that I showed you, and there'll be some other bits and pieces, but I'm going to work out the details for that and what you need to do to enter, things like that, and then I will let you know in the special short podcast that I will be releasing just after the weekend. So this time I really do mean it. I'm going to say goodbye. Happy knitting, happy spinning, happy crocheting, happy autumn. Or spring if you're in the southern hemisphere. I hope it's warming up for you nicely, and I will speak to you soon. Bye. And we're back again. I hope you enjoyed that little slideshow. Hope it inspired you a little bit. There are 4 or 5 of each colourway, so there should be plenty if any of you are interested. A few have already sold this morning, but they don't fly out the shop like some of the really well-known brands just yet. That's something I aspire to, so there should be some left when the podcast comes out. And that's all that I've put in the shop this week. I need to do a yarn order because I'm getting dangerously low on undyed yarn now. Erin helped me when I was dyeing the fibre last week. What did you do? Do you remember? What did you do?
Squeezing it and putting them in.
Putting them in the water. Yeah, soaking them at the beginning and squeezing it to get all the air out. Yeah.
I helped you.
You did help me. You need to talk a little bit louder, otherwise they won't be able to hear you.
Because I helped you.
You did help me, yes. It was a big help. Yeah, so we've got a photo. We'll put that up above Erin's head now. She was very helpful. She always helps me out. She did design a colourway this time as well. Do you remember what colours were in the fibre that you designed? What colours were they?
White.
No. When I coloured the fibre, it was white to start with, but when I coloured it, what colours did you say I had to put in it? Do you remember? What colours was it? Oh! Well, that's something that Erin wants to show you that she got today. So do you want to show them now? Go on then. Look at that. Wow, it's a little Halloween ghosty with lights. Who gave you that?
Uncle Pen.
Say a bit louder.
Uncle Pen.
Uncle Pen? You went to see Uncle Pen and he gave you that. Well, what a lovely uncle. And did you say thank you? Oh, that's good. So is this your new favourite thing? Yeah. I think we're going to see that quite a lot, aren't we?
But I haven't told them what I did at Uncle Pen.
What did you do? Well, you need to talk louder, remember? And what did you do at Uncle Pen's then? What did you do at Uncle Pen's? Tell me.
I played with my blocks.
You took Mega Blocks with you, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did some building.
I listened to 2 stories.
2 stories? Fabulous. Who read them to you?
Daddy.
Daddy read them both to you?
Yeah.
Cool.
It was Goldilocks and Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, fantastic. They were 2 good stories then. And did you have a treat?
Yes.
Don't kick the table because you make the camera wobble. What treat did you have?
2 biscuits.
2 biscuits! Well, I wish I'd come now. Instead of staying home and making the soup.
Oh.
I should have come and I could have had chocolate biscuits then, couldn't I?
No, you have to stay and make the lunch.
Oh, bother. So I don't get any chocolate biscuits then?
No.
Oh.
Don't worry, Mummy, we'll be back home.
Yeah, you came home for lunch,
With
didn't you?
Megan.
Oh, your cousin Megan's coming tomorrow, isn't she, to visit us?
Yeah.
You're very excited about that.
It's my turn to talk.
Oh, is it? Go on then.
But I don't know what to say.
Well, I don't know what you could say either.
Well, maybe I can tell them about my day.
Okay.
Uncle Pen.
Yeah.
And what I had for lunch.
Uh-huh. Go on then.
I had soup for lunch.
Yum. Was it good soup?
Yeah.
And what else did you have?
had some crackers.
Mhm.
And I put some dairy on
Mhm.
to come back to make a sandwich. And I got some butter without asking.
You did. You got the butter all on your own
Without asking.
without asking. Cheeky.
And the next time I didn't ask. The next time I did.
Yeah.
And this time I want to show them my face.
You want to show them your light thing again, do you?
And I brought a wand here.
Yeah.
And it's still time something good on and off, and you just press it to Mummy, then let it go off.
Okay.
And
What will you be doing this afternoon when we finish recording?
I'm just going to tell them what I did at Anchor Pen.
Okay, well, be quick because you're taking up a lot of time.
I built my blocks. I did a one way round castle.
A wrong way round castle. Wow.
And I read some, and Daddy listened, and Daddy gave me some stories like Little Red Riding Hood and Goldilocks. And I'm just going to show them my clothes very quick.
You've already shown them your clothes, sweetheart. Your jacket. You do like your jacket, don't you? Yeah.
And I'm in Mummy's office. That's where she works. And my name is called Erin Marianne.
Clever girl.
And
how old are you?
I had 2 chocolate biscuits at Anchor Pens.
How old are you?
I'm just going to tell them.
Okay.
And then you'll make tea, okay?
Okay. Okay, it's
And
the Erin
I'm
podcast.
free today because I had my birthday. And I got some presents. And I had somebody called Megan that is 4.
Your cousin?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's somebody called Charlotte Laura that is 1. I'm 3. And actually, Mummy, we're talking for a long, long time because I can't be.
I know. I think we're going to have to say goodbye in a minute.
Oh,
Because
but
the people
I finished talking.
I know, but the people who are watching, they're going to have other things to do.
But Mummy, we start again on our podcast.
We could start another podcast, yeah. Well, next week we'll do another one.
And
Okay.
then it won't
Now,
be
do you know who's watching you? Maria. You going to wave hello to Maria?
Olivia.
And Zoe.
Hey, Zoe.
And who else is going to be watching you? Well, there's lots of people that you don't know who are on Instagram. So can you say hello, Instagram people?
Hello, people.
That's very good. I think you're very good at this. So I've been telling them that you want to learn to knit. That's right, isn't it?
Yes.
What do you want to knit?
And I'm the grown-up girl.
Yeah, when you're a grown-up girl, but what will you knit when you're a grown-up girl?
Some gloves.
Some gloves for you.
And they're going to be red.
red gloves.
And
Well,
then
they'll
I'll
be
show
smart.
them on our podcast.
That's a brilliant idea. And do you think that you'll do some spinning?
Yeah, and then I'll do everything when I'm a grown-up girl. Then I'll show all of my things that I spinned and knit. And then I can show them for a long, long time. And then I can tell them about our day.
Well, that sounds good to me.
But Mummy...
And are you going to come and help me with my business as well?
Yeah.
With making all the yarn and the fibre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me tell them something very quick.
Okay, very quick. And then we'll say goodbye.
And there's a purple teddy bear that Mummy didn't know his name, but I just did know.
Oh.
And it was called Blueberry.
That was right. You called him Blueberry. That's a very nice name. Right
And
then.
because Blueberry is a purple bear.
Yeah. But blueberry juice is kind of purple, isn't it? Yeah. Now, you need to say goodbye to everybody now.
Goodbye.